Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Just Enough Heshy show. We have my wonderful co-host who was screaming and shouting. I don't know what she was doing before the show, but the lawyer sitting next to me was protecting her, and I don't even know what was going on. Welcome, Sawyer, to the show.
I was yelling at you.
I can't hear you.
I was yelling at you.
I think so.
And he was protecting me.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know it doesn't, but it still made sense to me. Anyway, Sawyer,
Good to be here.
how was your week so far?
My week was so far
Good.
Pretty good.
Welcome back to the show. Great. And my wonderful friend, Ezra Levy, attorney at law. We're going to talk about you as well. I mean, if Sawyer has you add to even tell everybody your phone number. I hope so. She wasn't prepared. But I'm joking, Sawyer. Don't make those faces to me. This is radio and YouTube. Anyways, we have a wonderful show tonight. And tonight you can call into the show at 718-289-0070 and ask Ezra any criminal question, any legal question. But Ezra, I have a question for you about some also, because last night I had a police officer come to my house, a parole officer, whatever, because somebody's going to be taking in somebody else from jail, and we want to, it's about a manslaughter, whatever, and I wanted to talk to you about the case, why he even went to jail, but we'll discuss that later on. We have a lot to talk about tonight. You understand all the shootings over the weekend. You know, we have about 811 shootings in New York. We'll talk about that as well. Over the year, much more than we did last year. We have a lot of other stuff to talk about. Sawyer?
Super chats. Don't
And
forget
we have
about
super chats.
And call into the show, 718-289-0070. We're going to do a shout-out. Or am I mixing up the schedule?
I don't know why this noise. Where's our producer over here telling us the noise? But we have shout outs. If you want, you can watch us on YouTube and type in a question, and Sawyer will answer or ask us the question to answer for you. And I want to give a shout out to my beautiful granddaughter, Mira Nava, today.
Mira Nava.
She was so cool today. I decided to not give her a lollipop today because she snitches on me too much. So, and plus I get caught with the lollipop. So I gave her chocolate. This way the evidence gets rid of quicker. Anyways, Mira Nava, I love you. Ellie, shout out to you. Sergeant Peter.
Sergeant Peters.
People are asking
Dove
where
and Johnny
Boomy is.
hiking.
You know,
and my beautiful Shoshana.
People asking where Boomy is, and now they're saying Ezra is better looking.
Okay.
Really? I like it.
It's a close call between the two of them.
Should I be insulted?
No, Ezra's much better looking. I think Ezra's better looking. Anyways, we're going to talk about your, let's go ahead, Sawyer, web.
High-Tech Web Group. Have you been pushing off remodeling or creating a website? Well, now you don't have to any longer. Let High-Tech Web Group's team of professionals construct your site with skill and precision. You can reach High-Tech Web Group at 212-235-2777. That's 212-235-2777. Check out their website at info@hightechwebgroup.com. Call High-Tech Web Group today so you can experience a whole new world of business. 212-235-2777. We wouldn't have the show if it wasn't
That's right.
pretty
Jaime
much for them.
was great today. He was in the supermarket, and I called up Jaime. I said, Jaime, I need that link to post to everybody quickly. Jaime says, don't worry about it, Heshy, all taken care of. Of course, it came late, but he was great. Don't worry about it. Jaime, we love you. 212-235.
2777.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sawyer. And then we have on the list Plaza
Auto Leasing. They are not only a leasing company, but also a dealership. You get the best of both worlds, the flexibility to lease or buy any vehicle, make, or model, combined with quick service, huge inventory, and easy approvals. There is no finance manager to meet with, just a friendly pal sales representative that can handle most of the transaction from start to finish without you even having to step foot in their office. What are you waiting for? Become a pal and call Plaza Auto Leasing today. You can reach Plaza Auto Leasing at 718-975-9000. That's 718-975-9000. You can also check out their website at www.plazaautoleasing.com. Located at 2750, that's 2750 Nostrand Avenue on the corner of Nostrand Avenue and Avenue N. Call 718-975-9000 and become a pal today. And don't forget to tell them Uncle Heshy sent you.
718-975-9000. And then we have Green Line Building Solutions. We are, with the
Preservation and Development, Fire Department, Criminal Court, Department of Finance, Environmental Control Board settlements, Building Consulting, Violations Removal, Construction Management. Who wrote this ad?
I did.
Oh owner compliance, contracting, licensed Department of Building Expediters, designs, professionals for all your building solutions. Located at 202 Foster Avenue, you can reach Green Line Building Solutions at 718-871-0382. That's 718-871-0382.
I want you to know this week we fought a couple of those mask tickets and those illegal, and Ezra, a bunch of these got fake fines that were issued to the people we went to fight. We gave them stories. We told them that the stores were closed a lot of times. They issued violation to close stores. No pictures, no evidence. The prosecutor on the phone said straight out, Mr. Judge, I have no evidence except for the inspector writing the ticket. You didn't take a picture of the logbook. You didn't see that the store was closed. You didn't see the sign on the door. Store is closed. Doesn't open before 11 o'clock. We still lose. And Mr. Yeager and all the politicians promised that the fines would be wiped out and amnesty. Nothing. How could this happen? I mean, I don't know. It just keeps.
Heshy, they're probably working on it. We just need you to keep on top of them.
I'm still on top of it. I'm fighting them one at a time. I'm winning them one at a time. But again, most of the people, they're just lying in the fines. And if you don't show up in court, you're going to get quadruple the fines. Quadruple. That means 4 times the amount, guys.
Keep fighting.
Yeah.
Are you a landlord? Are you a tenant? Are you a building owner? Then you need Mr. Super.
I love him.
He's
real good. You know that? He's
got skill.
And also, he knows how to feed me. Really? No, he took me out.
What does he feed you?
He took me out to dinner. He knew how to.
You took me out to lunch.
I took you out to lunch.
With
Messy. We went out to
I'm
lunch.
sorry, I'm busy thinking about the burger. I'm sorry, Chris.
So
I can't be thinking about you. I finally got. And I'm not even supposed to give them. They're not doing a commercial. Are they doing a commercial?
No, but
so should I be giving them free advertisement?
Me and Soya.
That was so. It was during the 9 days.
Forget
I had
hamburger.
my. Excuse me. It was called an Impossible Burger. No meat.
Okay. Next time we'll take Ezra with us. We went out to lunch.
Heshy finally bought me a burger.
I took her out to lunch with Christopher Messy, and we're sitting there, and people are just coming over to us and telling us thank you and thank you for helping. Christopher couldn't believe it. I'm just sitting in a restaurant, and people are just coming over, and Soya didn't say a word. She just kept chewing and munching and then grabbing from my plate. Terrible.
I didn't grab anything from your plate.
You took from my plate.
I'm sorry. I don't grab from people's plates.
Okay, go ahead.
And you had somebody in there that was
Tell
inside.
them.
Yeah,
Tell them.
it came over to you, a client of his from Green Line Building Solutions. And they came over, running over to Heshy, like practically hugged him. And they're like, whatever Heshy's eating, I'm paying for it. Doesn't make a difference. And he's like, he gives the guy the credit card. And he goes, if he wants to eat anything else, put it on my tab because this guy saved my life.
That's right. You didn't believe me when I said that.
I know, and I heard the story. Well, we can't say the story, but you really did save his life.
Okay.
He was in big trouble.
That's right. That's right.
But let's talk about Mr. Super. He
right.
literally, he is super because he could do everything from A to Z. Cabinet repair, painting, wall patches, self-installation, toilet, everything your husband has not done and promised you he will do. Just call Mr. Super.
No, but he also,
consider him your other husband.
He also renovates apartments. He helps landlords. His prices are like really, really good. I've checked him out, and his work is wonderful.
Right. So when your tenant leaves and they leave you like a mess and you need to fix things, you call Mr. Super. If you're a tenant and he's phenomenal.
2 minutes.
You can reach Mr. Super at 718-218-5555. That's 718-218-5555.
Wonderful. You're just great.
Aren't I?
Yeah. Then we have, of course, our wonderful guy sitting next to me, Ezra Levy. I mean, this guy...
He specializes in all criminal matters.
He specializes in
including weapons possession.
No,
we're going to go through the list for you, Heshy.
Okay.
Drug offense. No, I'm just kidding. The Heshy doesn't do drugs. Domestic violence. He does food instead. Theft offenses, assaults, DWI. He does everything. 917-755-1187. That's 917-755-1187. If you get into trouble and you can't reach him and you're about to go into criminal court and you get one phone call and he's not picking up, you could text him. That's 917-755-1187.
Ezra, what's your number, Ezra?
917-755-1187.
He's wonderful. And Ezra, your history of how many years have you been doing this?
Over 22 years.
Over 22
Wow.
years. And not only that, Ezra is just a guy who actually cares. You know, I've seen so many people who just don't care and take your money or just laugh at you, not because Ezra actually comes. He comes early. He cares about you.
A lawyer that cares. That's a rare commodity.
I know that. Something's wrong with him. No, he's good. I
My
love
wife
him.
says the same
You know
thing.
why? He has like 5 children. That's why I guess he has patience. Go ahead, Sawyer. Barber's
We have Baruch's Barbershop, the official barber of Heshy Tischler.
That's right.
You can reach Baruch's Barbershop at 718-758-5187. That's 718-758-5187. Or call, text, or WhatsApp Baruch personally to schedule your appointment. You could do that at 347-845-9131. That's 347-845-9131.
That's great.
Oh, he's located at 108 Avenue I.
108 Avenue Y. Just pop in there or just call him. And then, of course, we have Traveler's Choice. 212-868-8698. Yossi and Devora Life. And the reason I'm doing it is because Bumi's not here. 212-868-8698.
So hold on.
Yeah.
Let's do it the way the book. What does Bummy say? He says they will take care of all your traveler's needs. They will take care of your transportation if you need to rent a vehicle. Hold on. They will take care of booking your flights and all your hotel accommodations. You can reach Traveler's Choice at 212-868-8698. No, I didn't do a Bummy. It wasn't Bummy, yes?
Good. 212-868-8698. And don't forget, guys, HeshyTischler.com still exists. I am out of the race for the 48th district, but I'm still going to ask for write-in votes. On November the 3rd, you can go to the polls and write in anybody's name. I prefer you write in Heshy Tischler, Heshy Tischler, Tischler, and check my website out, HeshyTischler.com. We're still up and running. We still could use money because on that last day I'm going to be putting posters all over the place. And then, of course, this beautiful show. Call into the show, 718-289-0070. We're on every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. Watch our show, YouTube, Facebook. Call into the show, 718-289-0070. Are you ready for my joke and quote of the day?
Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. And plus, of course, you can send messages on the super chat, Just Enough Heshy.
I'll be
Subscribe to
answering
the
them.
show. If you want to email me anything, justenoughheshy@gmail.com. And of course, everything else, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Just Enough Heshy, and we'll find you, and you can just send me messages or just watch my weekly or daily videos. Here's my quote of the day. Don't run from who you have become. Fear doesn't exist anywhere except in our minds. Most of us have far more courage than we ever dreamed we possessed. Now, my lawyer over here sitting next to me, Ezra, always tells me to shut up. But I have the courage to fight back. I do want to scream at my judge on that last day after we finally get rid of this ACD. And Ezra keeps pushing that button to block my voice. He keeps muting me. That's not fair, Ezra. Can you stop that?
After the next quarter.
Okay, here we go with my joke of the day. Anyways, guys, don't be fearful. Have the courage. You all have the courage. You know, people say to me, Heshy, you're going to run again. Even Dov Heiken called me. He lost twice, Heshy, run again. I don't know if I want to run again. You're fear, you're embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. I try my best. I'm going back to do what I'm doing. You see, Ezra, I have a guy coming. Last night I went home early for the first time. Linda was so happy. Are you hearing about this, Sawyer? Linda was happy, and I went to bed.
Linda was happy? That's the first.
Yeah, we had dinner together. It was an early hour. I saw my son Yaakov. I was sitting there. I said, I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock. Can you believe it? Like an old man. I finally went to bed at 8 o'clock. I jumped into bed, and all of a sudden, a knock on the door, police officer. Really a parole officer. What's going on? Heshy, come over here, another police officer. She's a parole officer because we're helping somebody get out of Sing Sing jail, an older gentleman, 72 years, who served 10 years, and I want to talk to you about that. Okay. And what happened is she came to check out the place. We were just approved for him to stay by us. And again, we're taking in one of our 30th felon. We took in a bunch of kids, and we're going to take him in, and we're going to help him, and we're going to try. She's telling us how to give him counseling, how to make sure he has food. I said, no, I've done this a lot of times in the past. And she came to check it out again. I had to get dressed, and again, I didn't get to bed before 11 o'clock. Anyways, we're going to talk about the joke of the day. So this joke reminds me about Linda a little bit. Linda, are you ready, Sawyer?
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
This is one of your things, the crazy things that you do. Sawyer tries to drag me to prayer at different... for
your soul.
Right, for my
I'm
soul.
concerned for your soul, like your sister.
She's all into mysticism and crystal balls and...
No, I'm not.
You are. Anyways, Linda, for months, my wife, has been nagging me to go with her to a seance parlor. A lady called Madame Faggy from France. You know, seance. I said, Linda, are you crazy? I don't believe it. She's making me miserable. She says, Heshy, Madame Faggy's a real Jewish fortune teller, and she brings the voices.
She wasn't a fortune teller. Heshy, she was taking you to an exorcist.
Whatever.
No, she's a fortune teller. She's making a fortune
You know what an
telling
exorcist is?
Why are you interrupting my joke? She takes me to this fortune teller, and she says she really brings the voices of the dead from the other world. I said, okay, we'll talk to, and then Linda says, we'll talk to them. Like last week, she said she spoke to her father, may he rest in peace. I had a good laugh, and she says, Heshy, Linda, for only $30 I have to waste. She made me take it out of my allowance. You can talk to your grandfather who you miss so much. Okay, I could not resist, and the next seance, there I was with Linda sitting under the colored lights at a green table, holding hands with persons on each side of me, and we were all humming. Madame Faggy, her eyes lost in a trance, was making passes over the crystal ball. Madame Faggy's voice changed to a quiet, thin voice and said, who is that with you, Madame Faggy? So she said, Mr. Tischler. That's what Madame Faggy replied. And I swallowed the lump in my throat, and I said, Grandpa, Zadie, is that you? We called him Zadie. So I said, he says, yes, in a thin voice quivering. Yes, yes, I shouted, this is your little Heshy, grandfather. Are you happy in the other world? So my grandfather answers, Heshy, I'm in bliss. I'm with your booby, that's my grandmother. We laugh, we sing, we gaze upon the shining face of the Lord. I asked my grandfather many questions, and grandfather answered each one until he said, I gotta go. And he said, so now I have to go, the angels are calling. Just one more question I asked. I said, grandfather, since when did you learn English? She took the $30 up front, the little witch. Anyways, we're going to start our show tonight, but I want you to know, and here we go, okay? There's a gentleman that I'm going to be helping out, and he served 10 years in jail for manslaughter. The reason why he had to sit there, and this is a crazy question I want to ask you, because I was watching a news report last night that 25% of the people that admit to guilt, are not guilty. And we're trying to, and there's a bunch of appeals and people, lawyers like you go there and say, listen, judge, even though he admitted to guilt, he shouldn't have admitted to it. Now, he admitted to it on video, in writing. They made him do it 10 times. They convicted him of the crime, and now we're appealing it, saying that he should have never done it. He was tricked into it because he's forced into it. Now, I understand that because you made me do the same thing, Ezra. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you forced me into it. But again, a lot of these people are scared because if they don't admit to it or they don't accept the deal, most likely they're going to lose with this crazy trumped-up evidence, and they can spend a whole lifetime in jail. And when they're in jail for a year or 2 years, something bad happens in there, they get another sentence, another 10 years, another 3 years added on. And this gentleman that I'm talking about, Ezra, he had a fight with his wife in the house. He had some money problems. He had a fight with his wife, and him and his wife had a big fight, and she accused him of something, and she took a knife and she stabbed him in the kitchen in anger. He pushed her. She fell down and bumped her head and cracked it open, and she died. He was all nervous, and he ran away. They caught him. Now, they told him that if you wouldn't have run away, you wouldn't have been convicted. Instead, he made a deal for manslaughter for 10 years. Now, explain to me this. Either he's a murderer, he killed her, or is he not? Why did he have to take 10 years, Ezra? Explain it to me. What do you mean? What do you mean manslaughter? It was a mistake. Mistakes happen. Mistakes get manslaughter because he's negligent.
Excuse me, if you're driving a car, when you're driving...
Okay. I'm asking the lawyer.
Well,
lawyer, I understand you had to admit to it, but he didn't do it. They saw the evidence. They saw he was stabbed. Explain it to me, Ezra.
So there's a bunch of information. There's a bunch of different answers I could give you. So just
start with one.
Start with one. First of all, not every homicide is a murder. Murder is an intentional taking of a human life, or a murder or taking of a human life in the course of a felony. Manslaughter.
Was it accidental? Passionate?
Manslaughter is when your reckless conduct causes the death of another. Without going into legal semantics, your friend who's coming to your house probably had from what you told me, had a very good self-defense claim. Pushing someone after he gets stabbed is very natural, and if he stayed around, he probably could have been rather successful, without knowing more, at his trial if he went that far. However, when you leave the scene of a crime or the scene of an accident or of a homicide, there's something called a consciousness of guilt charge that a judge could give the jury, and usually does. A person who runs away, the jury could take that in consideration as evidence of his guilt. Obviously, also, I don't know if you said anything to the police when he was arrested or not. Since you did mention about false confessions, a lot of times, obviously, we don't know what goes on in the precinct.
Is it a false confession or was it a coerced confession?
Well, there's a difference between a false confession and a coerced confession. A coerced confession is where the police basically say, we're going to beat you up or we're not going to give you food or whatever.
Beating them up. But coerced confession, they sit him there for 18,
that could
20
be coerced.
hours. The guy breaks down and they say, listen to him. And they scare him. They scare these 18, 20, 30-year-old people are still young. And they say, listen, you're going to spend a lifetime in jail. Here's the evidence. They even make up lies. Or the guy next door said this. If you don't do it, you're going to get it. Just say it, and I'm going to let you off the hook, or maybe I'll talk nicely to the prosecutor. And that doesn't happen.
Sure. Well, first of all, police will never talk nicely to the prosecutor about you because they have nothing to gain.
Right. And also, remember, the defense attorney most of the time are legal aides, and they say, listen, accept the deal. This way, we don't. And he wants to get off the hook because he has 30, 40 cases. Now, I'm not knocking them. My point is that 25%. That's what I was shown. I was shown the report. 25% of the cases are coerced. Ezra, are just the guy had to admit to it.
There's a lot. Many studies have been done, especially with death penalty cases, where they find a lot of times when they reverse on DNA grounds or other grounds, and how the conviction was gained. Usually, the highest one I've seen in most studies is a misidentification, which is very common. People really don't. If you never saw a stranger before, seeing them in a very scary situation or happening very quickly, gives rise to many opportunities for misidentification. And then usually the second one is a false confession or a coerced confession.
But my question to you is, we all know, Ezra, when you are arrested, do not talk till your attorney comes. Why don't the police the first thing say, listen guys, don't talk. Talk to me when your lawyer's here. Why are we so stupid and why isn't the police telling us, stop talking, wait for your lawyer?
Well, police will tell you. The police have to read your Miranda, what are known as Miranda rights, right to remain silent.
They didn't read me Miranda rights.
They only have to read them. They'll read it to you if they're going to question you, if they want to question you. In New York, the lawyers, once a suspect or anyone says, I want my lawyer here, questioning stops. That's everywhere in the country. In New York, you can't reopen that without your lawyer present. Cops don't want lawyers in the precinct for obvious reasons. They'll never get a confession. On a case where there's very little evidence or very suspect evidence or evidence that could be read both ways, they obviously don't want a lawyer stopping them from being able to induce a confession.
So
because I will tell you, I've been in court.
The whole system is screwed up.
Well, the system, any system has pitfalls in it. There are a lot of attempts being made. Obviously, last week we mentioned bail reform. I think instead of focusing on bail reform, we should focus on, having every interrogation videotaped. It's very easy to do. We're making cops wear body cams these days. Put a videotape in the precinct. They're supposed to have body cams on the street. Let them put them on there. And
they
then
should not be.
They
should not be afraid of being filmed. In fact, they should embrace it, because then, if there's any questions that pop up later,
let's take a call. Sir.
Agreed.
She's going to take a call right now. Hello, you're on the
why'd you run in Sheepshead Bay if you live in Borough Park?
Hello?
That's a good question. He wants to know why you ran in Sheepshead Bay if you live in Barber Park.
Well, I'm going to explain. Is that your only question?
I guess so.
Let me explain to you what I did. I did not run only in Sheepshead Bay. First of all, we have a house in Sheepshead Bay, my wife and me, and I was running for the city council seat. I wanted to run in the Borough Park council seat, but remember one thing, the 48th district also encompasses Flatbush, Midwood, Sheepshead Bay, and Manhattan Beach. So I ran in an open seat so I can get into city council. I did have an address in Sheepshead Bay, which I have my voting address over there. I registered to vote there. Kalman Yeager lives in Flatbush, does not live in the 44th district. He ran originally in the 48th district, and then he switched to the 44th district when he lost the first time. And then he moved into the district. That's the way it is. And if you want to listen to the truth over here, you have Benjamin Bendet, who ran, doesn't live in the 48th district or the Sheepshead Bay district. Amber Adler, just out of the district. You're talking a lot of the people who ran in that race did not live in this. I happen to have had an address in the district that my wife has been there for over 50 years and that, 40 something years, I can't say that they own that house over there. And we've been there many times. I've been in Sheepshead Bay. I've worked in Sheepshead Bay. I help many people in Sheepshead Bay. I have an address in Sheepshead Bay. I have a secondary house.
Heshy, your heart is in Brooklyn, and
That's
you
right.
wanted to help the people in that community.
I'm a Southern Brooklyn. I'm a Brooklynite, and I wanted to get into the city council to help the people of not only the Brooklyn community, of the Flatbush, Borough Park, Midwood, Bensonhurst, Bed-Stuy, Bushwick, Brownsville, everywhere in the city of New York. That was the objective. And I do help a lot of people in Sheepshead Bay. I do help a lot of people in Manhattan Beach. I've helped their homes. I fought them with the building department. I've helped their young kids when they got arrested. I helped a lot of their kids that needed a place to go. I fight the homeless shelters all over, whether they're in my district or not. So if you want to hear why I ran because I wanted to get into the city council to make a change. And of course, the people have chosen whoever they wanted to choose. And again, a lot of people didn't come out to vote. Usually we have 12, 15,000 votes. Here
Heshy, you
had 5.
won. People are still coming to you for help.
They're still coming to me for help, which I don't understand. I mean, you don't need my help. I don't know. You know, this week, I want to ask you a question, another one, Ezra. I'm standing on Ocean Parkway. I'm seeing the guy give tickets. Now, not our local police officers giving tickets. We have a task force sent in. A task force.
I think we were on the phone when you were having a discussion with the police officer. You hung up on me so you could finish the conversation.
Right. I was on the phone with my lawyer. and what happened was the guy gives tickets. Now, he says that he puts his life in danger for us. So go stop crime. Instead, what he did was, as I swear to you, Ocean Parkway is an avenue that goes from 45 miles an hour down to 25.
They have a camera on almost every block.
13, I counted
On both
today.
ways, like
13 red light speeding cameras. Avenue J has a speeding camera. 2 blocks later is where they stand. And then the next block.
And not only that, there's a speed limit, which is a very low speed limit. It happens to be, it's like an expressway.
Right.
I really think that the speed limit is a little bit too
low.
low. And not only that, you can't turn. There's nowhere that you could turn. So you're like coasting. You're just drinking your iced coffee, looking out the window, doing like 20 miles per hour. You're not going in it. And you can't turn.
Right,
you can't turn on anywhere from like J, P, you can't turn on any of the blocks.
But if
you gotta drive an extra half a mile to get home.
But if you miss your turn, you have to drive another 5 or 6 blocks each way. And my problem here is I was standing there with my own speedometer.
The city's getting kickbacks from the gas company, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I was standing there and I saw that a lot of the people he pulled over were 7 miles over the limit, 9 miles. And I'm not talking going 90 or 80. You're talking from 25 to 37 or 32. The guy was, and then he jumps in to a middle of a 3-lane highway. He jumps in the middle, which he could get hit. But let's forget about him that he can't get hit. The car behind him, that's only a car or 2 behind. You know that we only drive Israel, what, 1 car behind?
I'm sorry, do you know that it's a criminal offense to block or obstruct a highway or a roadway? It is CPLR, it's something.
It's actually Penal Law 240-20.
240-20, it's a crime, but excuse me, it's a violation. And as a citizen, I would like to make a citizen's arrest and write him up a summation. I can't write him up a citation or something?
No, you can't.
Oh, I can't. I don't have.
Sorry.
They should give me a booklet.
But
I think it's a crime because that he's able to do because he's a cop and he can get away with it. I love cops because we need them to protect us, but this is abuse. This really is abuse of power. And a waste of taxpayers' money.
I want to go to Ezra.
We're limited. They wanted to fund the police at least
protect us and do other things
Ezra.
to help the community.
He's causing damage. He says, I'm a cop protecting you. I'm putting my life in danger. Putting your life in danger.
I kind of feel bad for him because somebody instructed him to go down.
I think that's where it comes
doesn't
down
make a
to.
difference, Ezra. Putting your life in danger.
Some buffoon.
Putting your life in danger.
Bozo, I don't know, somebody.
But putting your life in danger, jumping into traffic is not a normal thing. You're supposed to, you're not supposed to stand in front of a guy shooting a gun or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but again, Ezra, this is illegal what they're doing to us. Even their speed radar guns don't belong on that particular way. It's designed for a major highway. Again.
Oh, by the way, in New York, I know in New Jersey, when you're driving on the highway, they made it that a lot of people don't know this. Let's say you're driving to Lakewood, Tom's River, or whatever. When you're going on a highway, or I think even a roadway, a regular roadway, if you see that a police officer pulled somebody over, you're supposed to get out of the lane closest. Like even if they're pulled over on the shoulder,
Right.
you're supposed to get out of the first lane and go
Correct.
to the other lane. Does that apply also in New York?
Well, the bottom line.
I'll tell you why I'm asking in a second.
I don't know if it's actually written down anywhere that you have to actually move away the side. Obviously, it's for the police officer's safety. The officer, when he's making a road stop, has to come out from the driver's side and wants to be able to observe the other driver. So he's going to walk into that lane. So for obvious reasons, you will be held liable if anything happens to the police officer.
Which he put himself in danger.
Well, that's true.
Do you know how insane that is? That he's standing, he wasn't on the sidewalk. He was pulling over people.
I saw Heshy's footage.
It was ridiculous.
I think so. You made one of the point.
But Ezra,
Yes,
not only did the guy leave,
He's putting the drivers in danger.
and then he leaves.
Nah, forget about himself. He's a dum-dum.
Look.
He wants to put himself in danger. He's on the job.
So-
He'll get disability, three-quarter pay instead of half pay.
But you're not getting the point here. It's not just him. I'm telling you the way the NYPD, the brass at One Police Plaza, they called me. They called me. They left a message to one of my people that, he's a good officer. We're going to do this again to you. But they took him away. They
Yeah,
said,
but who sent One Police Plaza is getting their orders from somewhere else.
But either way, he left. This officer Ak left. What happened was Yeshiva World saw my video and clip. Right away they posted it, screaming at me because they stole $30,000 from me and whatever, and they had the intent to rip me off. I just want you to know that. I want to sue them, Ezra, because there's no way you could take money from somebody and not just go against my competitor, but actually write a bad article on the last day. So you had intent to rob me. But anyways, what happened was here is that Yeshiva World sent it to the NYPD, One Police Plaza. One Police Plaza tweeted, and I have it over here, tweeted an exact copy of what this guy did. Tweeted my video saying, the officer did well. And then Yeshiva World, this guy Yehuda Eckstein, he went and told the One Police Plaza to please send the guy back. Usually you never see them back at 5 o'clock in the evening. They came back 5 o'clock that evening, again with another officer that wasn't scared again, not from our district. Go ahead.
Somebody wrote on the super chat, impossible you got so few votes. Somebody else wrote, the fix is in, pound the big cover up.
We did see a lot of the machines are not working. We did see a lot of zeros coming in. Even Amber Adler called me, my competitor, and said that she's now suing and fighting to recount the votes because a lot of the machines didn't work. But again, this is what they're busy with. Now, let me give you some numbers, okay? A bloody night the other day in New York City, 1 dead, 8 wounded. 19-year-old men gunned down in Queens. I'm not finished yet. Bloody night, 4 slashed, 2 beaten in an 8-hour span in Brooklyn and Manhattan. Father of 3 knifed to death outside his building. I'm keeping on going. Now listen to what Governor Cuomo has. Since we have gun violence, you know what his solution is to stop it? Let's give kids jobs. That will stop the gun violence.
Yeah, that was President Biden's crazy idea.
So Cuomo said Cuomo said reaching at-risk youths before they enter the pipeline is one of the state's most important strategies to curbing gun violence. What about the gang members? What about people robbing stores? What about people, doing crazy criminal things? And again, Eric Adams, here's our future mayor maybe. I will work very well together with Cuomo. First, he hates Cuomo. First, he's not on his team, and now he's going to work with the worst governor.
I got to tell you my take on that. He's meeting with Biden, who's, knock, knock, all the lights are on, but nobody's home. Actually, the lights aren't on. Some of the rooms are quite dim. But the point is, he's meeting with Biden. He's meeting with whatever, DeCuomo,
Right.
who is,
And
who took people, didn't use the ship that Trump sent, but 3,000 people to put them in, whoever has the coronavirus. Literally, that place, that ship was not used, and it was fully equipped with everything: medical, personnel, staff, equipment, medication, everything that you could possibly use for 3,000 people. Instead, he took people that were in hospital, elderly people that were sick, put them back into the nursing homes, killed them along with the other geriatric patients, along with, the staff that was working over there. And now this wonderful city is offering you a burger or an Xbox or a trip to Disneyland if you get the vaccine.
By the way,
and the numbers are ridiculous.
By
They're
the
telling
way-
you every day different numbers. The people are dying
Sawyer,
in
we got
new
the point.
variants.
But Sawyer, my point is they are now.
I don't believe anybody.
They are now coming to your doors, and they want to talk to you about the vaccine.
We're going to talk about my Second Amendment. What is that, with the shotgun?
Yeah, that's
We're
right.
going to talk
That's right,
about
Tom.
when you come to my door, we're going to be talking about the Second Amendment.
Sawyer, but
As
I
a
want
lawyer,
you-
I don't advise that, but I also advise not opening the door for
But
them.
right, so if they want to come talk to you about the vaccine, you can just basically like this.
No. Just
Attention.
go, keep walking.
No. But you can put this on your door. Attention, do not knock on this door to talk about the vaccine. You're allowed to post this notice. You are trespassing on my property. If you do not leave after reading this notice, criminal trespassing charges will be filed. Is that true? Can I do that?
You definitely can put signs up there. You can also refuse. I'll give you.
You're
Just
not
wait a
going
second.
to be able to do criminal charges.
You're not-
the only time you're going to be able to do criminal charges is if some sort of altercation
But
takes place. Otherwise, they're going to skedaddle right off your property
Let's
and
hear
they're
the
going to just
lawyer.
annoy
I'd
you.
say the lawyer say
You're not
that.
gonna be able. You're not gonna have them arrested. They're going to be working under the code of law. But I could tell you, when I had the virus myself during the holidays, they came. They were knocking on my door. They wanted to come knock on my door to make sure I'm home. I told them, you knock on my door, nobody's answering. You could call me. I'll be answer for you. You don't have. You have no duty to cooperate with them. But you do have a duty not to hit them. So I'm just letting you
So
know
I
that
want
much.
you to know. So this is my question for you. My daughter-in-law was sick in the house.
If you happen to be throwing a bucket of wastewater out the door and it accidentally hits them, not that I'm suggesting
Not
that
right.
anyone, and you happen to put inside the bucket with the waste, like fish and other debris that really smells and reeks for like weeks with vinegar, and it just happens, you're just cleaning out from your home, and they happen to be standing there and it just accidentally hits them, they're on your property. I mean, come on.
So I guess nobody should start up with you. But
Yeah, I know. Sawyer is ranting tonight like crazy. But my question to you is, the governor said you can't sue them. My daughter-in-law is home, thank God, Tehila, from 5 months of being in the hospital. She almost died not because of COVID, because they prescribed her some stupid ventilator. They didn't take care of it properly. Thank God my son, we fought, we kept him there all the time to watch her. She would have been dead. And everybody laughed at me. Oh, no, she needed it. And then we transferred her from hospital to hospital. She just came home after 5 months, 3 months in a coma. And I want you to know, for the first time I heard my daughter-in-law say, can we sue the hospital? She knows that they took her in wrong. She knows how they mistreated her. She's right here. Thank God she lived it.
Heshy, they were putting on ventilators on whoever they could, because once you put it on, they get $39 or $50-something thousand. Literally, they were getting
Forget that,
tremendous.
Sawyer.
Yeah.
My question to you is the governor, like
I
you
wouldn't forget
said,
it.
the code of law says that they're working under the code of law. But the law is wrong. What they did was wrong. Ezra, we have to be able to sue them. We have to be able to fight them. Why is always the code of law that we are always told, hey, if we screw up the government, too bad, drop dead?
I mean, I'll tell you. We had a family member who, he was taken to the hospital for COVID when it was relatively new. He survived the virus but didn't survive the hospital. And we looked to sue. And I actually, being the lawyer in the family, I reached out to a few medical malpractice professional experts. The thing is, when it came to COVID, at least early on, hospitals had no idea how to deal with it, and there was no precedent in how to deal with it, so they had a lot more leeway. Every case is going to be evaluated. individually. You should definitely look into seeing if you can
But
sue the
once it
hospital.
hits the court, it's going to be dismissed automatically. They have great lawyers.
Well, the state's gonna pay for the lawyers, but eventually somebody's gonna be able to pierce that, because without a doubt, hospitals were rampant with malpractice during this whole thing.
Negligence.
So it's negligence, malpractice, and unfortunately, many innocent lives were lost, and other people just got sicker rather than.
I mean, they didn't give people water. Forget about medication. Water, H2O.
I know.
Simple product that's available.
We had a guy on the show like that. Now, I want to tell you something. This guy, Yehuda Eckstein from the Yeshiva world, I'm just showing you his address and phone number. I made a video by his house today. He's an idiot completely. Instead of being worried about his community, I want to show you what's going on. We had a rally set up in our community about a month and a half ago just to support Israel. And it was going to be done on Coney Island Avenue in the center of the neighborhood. The police asked me to stop it. They called me.
And you did.
And I did. I told people because of the schools and the children, Ezra, and it was right near your house too.
I know. My kids had to come home from school early because people worked.
Kids had to come home from school early because they were scared there's going to be a riot on both ends. People were going to come. So we asked people not to come, and the police were so happy. Heshy, thank you as a leader. We stopped it, and people were disappointed with me, but we stopped it. Now let me tell you what's happening. There's going to be a rally on Saturday, not in the middle of the week, on Saturday on Avenue C and McDonald Avenue, right in the center of the neighborhood, by a Bangladeshi mosque. Now, I've helped mosques. Now, Bangladesh has nothing to do with Palestinians at all, but they're going to all come and have this rally over there at 5 o'clock.
What's the rally for?
The rally, listen to this, is
To
defend...
globalize the intifada? What does that mean?
globalize the intifada, globalize in America. Defend Palestine in the heart of Bangladeshi community in Brooklyn, the largest growing immigrant community in New York. Saturday, July 17th at 5 p.m., Avenue C and McDonald Avenue. Do you think the police responded to it? Do you think the police tweeted? Do you think they spoke to, because I spoke to many of the Muslim community, they said nobody's asked them anything or discussed about it. They're busy giving traffic tickets. Now, 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, where there are 3 schools, youth centers, synagogues, mosques, and churches, they're going to come here and protest and riot. We think they're just going to stand on that corner and scream and holler. You're going to see when we have to make a rally, we are controlled and told to stay in one spot or 2 blocks. They're going to march. There are people coming home from synagogue, young kids. Somebody's going to get hurt. And what's going to happen, Ezra? Nothing. They don't have a permit. They don't have a reason. They don't have permission by the police to rally. Where's Mr. According to this guy who just called, where's our Councilman Yeager? Where's our senator? Why isn't they saying anything? Why aren't the police reassuring the community that nothing will happen bad? Today is Wednesday, and I'll tell you why. Because not that I'm knocking the police, but basically there's no control. And our mayor doesn't care. It's the mayor's order. Do not touch them. Just go after the people that are easy targets, the Jews that are easy. And you're right, people have been commenting, you only care about the Jewish community, which is not true. They pulled over non-Jewish people there. They pulled over Muslim people over there. I was defending everybody. When they were doing those tickets, it's wrong. Sending people from other communities, task force, which should be protecting this neighborhood. And let me keep reading to you. You want to read more
Can I
murders?
just say one thing? You mentioned
I want to just read this to you. There have been 811 shooting incidents with at least 945 victims so far this year, compared to 650 shootings the same time last year with 796 victims. That was a whole year, and we're only halfway during the year. As of July 11th, 79 shooting victims were under 18. Do you understand? Little kids are being killed. A little 6-year-old was shot just walking down the street and killed. Young people, Ezra, and there's no control. What they're busy with is ticketing, fining, and working on stupidity.
I agree with you that the funding, or at least the priorities of the NYPD are as mixed up as possible. We have a terrible mayor who is weak on everything and is very weak on protecting the people he's been sworn to serve. And unfortunately, we have a police commissioner who's beholden to a mayor and knows that his days are limited as police commissioner because he's going to be on January 1st as well. And unfortunately, rather than doing their job and protecting the citizenry of the city, the police have decided that we're going to go after soft targets. The softest targets are law-abiding citizens, who's the worst thing they're going to do is go over 5 to 7 miles over the speed limit.
Right.
And that's really it. I hate to say that.
We got you. We saved you.
But we're soft targets.
I don't know from what.
Look, I respect police officers for putting on that badge today more than anything because they're walking, We know that they're walking
They're
targets for
targets.
derision for everything. So I mean,
So why
it's
the
very
police officers
even I'm a
coming, Ezra?
defense attorney. There's nothing more I can say. There's nothing I can't. I'm not gonna badmouth the police because I think they're doing a tremendous job under very trying circumstances. That being said, it would be nice if they actually did police work rather than ticketing people for going
Right.
a couple miles over the speed limit, especially where there are speed cameras, and especially that's a very busy intersection. So I have a hard time turning on Avenue M and Ocean Parkway when there is no
Right.
police
Mr.
presence.
Epstein, this is this guy. I think he's ugly.
We got to talk about critical race theory.
But
Heshy, do you know what
I want to
critical?
talk to Ezra. Well, I'll go with critical race before we do. Ezra, you know I was attacked a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, I do.
So I thank God I got a picture of the guy and I got his license plate. The police didn't track him down. My boys tracked him down. We're going to take a phone call in a second. Not only we track him down, they couldn't find the second guy. They showed me pictures. I want to tell you what happened with the second guy. They finally arrested him. You know why? He attacked and assaulted 2 more people. 2 more people, Ezra. Assault and you get out without bail. Ezra, I understand if you did marijuana, you made a car accident, you assault, you hit your wife by mistake, but not by mistake. You should never take
Isn't
your wife.
Eichenstein doing something with a new initiative, something to get for the people?
Eichenstein's trying to allow you to sue people
sue.
for race-based violence. However,
Good for
you have
him, that's great.
It's great, except it's not going to really affect anything because most of these hooligans are young kids with no money. So it's, you can sue, but you're not going to get much money back.
Let's take a phone call. We gotta
Don't
take
you?
a phone
If you
call.
don't, I'm sorry. If you don't pay certain fines and a certain amount, don't you get like some sort of jail time?
No, you get a bad credit rating.
Or no. and don't you get like community service or something?
Only if you get arrested. But Eichenstein is his at least what I understand. from
Baby
his-
steps.
It's
Baby steps.
It's purely financial.
take a look at the criminal system right now. Like you get in, it's like a revolving door. You get in. 3rd time, 17th time,
We're gonna-
25th time. You got a rap sheet from here to tomorrow.
And we discussed this
and you
last
just
week.
keep
We
going
discussed
around.
this last week that the bail reform was a good idea, really messed up by terrible politicians who really went a little too deep in cutting, taking away the judicial discretion.
Let's take a phone call. Hello, hello. You're on the air with Heshy, Sawyer, and not me, but Ezra.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Ezra and Heshy. Heshy, we love you. I have a question though. Why did you
One
decide
second, he
to
said he
plead
only loves
guilty?
Heshy and Ezra.
No, but Heshy, why did you decide to plead guilty before the election? I think it hurt you very much. I think you could have dragged it out easily till after the primary. You could have fought it and made that moisture come in.
You were right. I was going to drag it out. I had a witness list of 20 people that were going to come down witness. Mr. Kornbluth's own brother-in-law, Mr. Bloom, who actually created the protest and the riot, who told his brother-in-law not to come. The prosecutor, and I know Ezra's screaming, look, he's putting his middle finger up to
We
stop.
discussed this in 3 weeks.
Okay, but so I was going to make it into a trial. I was going to make it into a laughingstock. I was going to win the case. And again, the most I could have gotten was a year anyways in jail, and plus I would have gotten probation. The reason I did do it was because the community asked me, Heshy, don't embarrass us. Don't put it in the news. You know it's going to make us look bad. If you take this plea deal, it'll be a misdemeanor, and then if you behave yourself and do 10 days community service, it'll all go away. It'll be dismissed. So I wanted to show the community. I didn't want trouble. That's why I didn't run against Mr. Yeager. Mr. Yeager had a meeting with me, and he said to me, Heshy, there's no reason that you should run against me. There's an open seat. Run for the open seat. I'll support you. I'll back you. I sat with him in a 3-hour meeting and then again in another meeting, and he promised to support me, but he lied. And not only did Mr. Yeager lie, I want to show you, he actually put up a candidate, a young boy, Mr. Bendit, who'd praise with him in his synagogue, who doesn't live in our district. And not only that, his buddy Greenfeld and Leon Goldenberg supported Maria Mark, a leftist who works for the de Blasio campaign. So explain to me, you're upset with me. These guys lie. I don't lie. I tell the truth. So you're right. I went there. I accepted the plea deal. So there shouldn't be any commotion or any fighting or hate. I wanted this just to go away. But I made a mistake. You're right. I made a mistake by accepting the deal. Thank you for your call, my friend. Thank you. Go ahead.
Somebody wants to know why do you think the media isn't talking about South Africa? You heard what's going on. They're burning down the malls over there. They're looting.
Why?
Massive mayhem
Why?
in South Africa.
Why?
It was in the news.
I know. I mean, you're talking the world.
We were about to talk about critical race theory.
Yeah, you were to explain it to me. Ezra, what do you mean by critical race? Explain it to
critical
me.
race theory is the new leftist Marxist
I love
program that's coming out in the last. It really originated in colleges, and now it's originating everywhere in local school districts. It
has 5 tenets.
The idea is behind it, in a nutshell, is people who are stuck in a system because of the color of their skin that they're born into. So a white person now is the oppressor just because they're white and they were born with a white color skin. And
we should feel bad.
And a black child or a brown child is the victim of a system that is geared up against them, which is, completely the antithesis of what Martin Luther King used to hold. It's that, that person should be, should be judged on their own merits, their own accomplishments, rather than the color of their skin. So, it's taken the whole civil rights movement and basically has thrown it in the garbage, in my opinion. And so you and I are guilty because we are white men. Sawyer is guilty because she's a white woman, notwithstanding the fact
I'm white. I am guilty.
Notwithstanding the fact
I'm embarrassed.
notwithstanding the fact that my parents, immigrated to this country in the '60s. So I don't know what advantages they ever had as being immigrants from a foreign-speaking land. But we're guilty because we're born white, and that's the garbage they're spewing now in colleges and high schools and in elementary schools.
So I was watching. There's some kind of a professor that is under a lot of a controversy that he has a young boy, a black boy, and a white boy sitting on the stage, and he screams behind them and walks around. He says, "Look, this white kid chewing gum, he's gonna get the job. The black kid won't get it at all, and he's more qualified." And he goes around for an hour preaching, and people are upset about it. Now, I agree. Why would you say such a thing? There are so many. America has been so good. The black people. You're right. There are prejudice. There's racism, but there's racism not only against the black and brown, or against the Asian people, against the Muslim people, against the Jewish people. People who hate are stupid. And you're right. It's been 100 years, 250 years, whatever. But the last 100 years, or since Martin Luther King has shined a light on civil rights, that we've been better. I'm not saying we're perfect, but hating one another. I don't hate. I try to make sure that there's no such thing as color in my family. Well, I'm colorblind. But again, people hate people just because they're fat, or because they're short, or they're not so pretty, or I was walking down the street the other day, and a young Down syndrome girl, very cool, so high function. He said, "Heshy, how are you? I'm gonna vote for you. And how is your sister?" And everybody's laughing at me because I'm talking to her. Because number one, she's a voter and a constituent, but the truth of the matter is, she's a human being, and you got to make sure you talk to everybody with respect, no matter who they are.
Okay, so critical race theory is very dangerous. We don't want it being taught in schools, and they're fighting this across the board. In different states, that they shouldn't be able to, each Department of Education in each state, Texas and all the other states, they're literally fighting this, that they should not be able to teach critical race theory in schools. Like they shouldn't teach many other things in school. They used to teach the 3 R's, which were reading, writing, and arithmetic. And I got to tell you something, they should really stick to that, because kids can't count nowadays. They can't write because they're busy texting. And most children cannot write in cursive, and it really enhances the brain. And they're busy telling me that, or other little children, you should be embarrassed. And no child should be told, a little child should not be told, that you should be embarrassed and that your great-great-great-great-grandpappy was a slave owner.
Okay.
Now, one other thing, South Africa, the president, I think his name is Jacob, I'm not sure about his first name, Jacob Zuma. So he was arrested. There is a massive unrest, and it's like a civil war there, and it hasn't been that way since over 30 years ago when they had apartheid. It's like literally a civil war there, and I think so far at least 72 people are dead.
Wow.
Massive amount of buildings were burnt down,
like
and
New York,
looting.
It's more like it was in the Koreatown in Los Angeles years ago, when there's no police presence protecting anyone. So actually, in those days, store owners had to carry weapons and actually shoot to save themselves. Then what's happening in South
The world is upside
I want to
down.
get into local stuff. By the way, on your, we're going to take another call. There was a video just to show you. I like the garbage man. I like the policeman. But there was a video now with garbage men just giving tickets on sidewalks, which were false. Video showing it. Video.
Right.
And now, and we still lose. When you go to court, we lose. You're on the air with Heshy, Sawyer, and Ezra. How you doing?
Yes, you have me. Am I on?
You are.
Hi.
Okay, you have me thinking, couldn't we say that civilization by bureaucracy is a failure, as we see in the case of Heshy's daughter-in-law who almost perished after 5 months in a coma because the hospital bureaucracy, there's a situation, it's called therapeutic nihilism. They'll hook you up to a machine and then they'll forget about you because they're stressed, they're overworked, and they can't pretend to care. You know?
You see,
it's like, and it extends to all kinds of issues. You're always dealing with the bureaucracy. See, if you get on a bus and you don't have a ticket from the machine, it's the SBS bus, because the paper didn't come out. It was out of paper. The cop, can he still give you $100 summons?
Wow. And you see, it's not the civilization is breaking down. We have people, thank you for your call. We have people who are leaders who just don't care. All they care is about their jobs. They care about themselves. I was told the whole last 2 weeks, Heshy, stop caring about everybody else. Stop fighting the system. Just go on with your life. Do your business. Take care of the few people that you can. I said, but that's not the way I believe in. I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop caring about people. I don't want to stop going to visit the jails or feeding the people. They said, well, that's all you're good for anyways. Do your little things. The big things leave to us big guys, and we're going to mess it up. And again, people are just getting in trouble. It's not me who's getting in trouble, guys. I'm trying to help other people because when they get big in trouble, they are going to come to me. You know what? And I'm very upset about it because I believe I can make a change. And you know, everybody else can tell me about COVID, but I'm a first-hand witness of that. When we were in the hospital, Ezra, we were in the hospital. We wanted to transfer her. They would not allow us to transfer her. The doctor kept lying. He's going to sign the papers. It's our right. It's our prerogative to transfer to another hospital. We had the best transfer team, and you know what? He wouldn't do it. We almost, and I'm ashamed to say, we almost had to bribe the doctor to do it. That's how almost it got to. And I want you to know that I wouldn't allow my family to do it. Really, that's how it went. And you know what happened? After a lot of threatening, screaming, but I had the power to do it because I'm bigger and we're more powerful. A lot of people couldn't do it. We were able to transfer to another hospital and another hospital. And everybody laughed. Oh, Heshy. You know what? She almost died. A young 26-year-old, gorgeous, beautiful girl. And when she woke up, and she got healed, she came back to life in minutes. You're right, she has some issues maybe with still physical therapy, but her life, her brain, her mind, it was there. They tried to close her eyes for no other reason than money and stupidity. And thank God I had more money, and they were just too stupid for me to deal with. And my son was very smart. I'm very proud of Avram for staying there day and night. But you know what? A lot of family members couldn't do what my son did. A lot of family members couldn't be there day after day, Saturday after Saturday, not have any life, not have a family life. And he saved his wife. And I thank my beautiful wife for allowing me and our family to contribute and help. And my boy, I've never been prouder than him in all my life than what he did for his beautiful wife, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. And I want you all to know out there in YouTube and video land and radio land, you must fight for your family. You must be there for your children. Don't be scared. Have the courage, like I told you in the beginning of the show. You all have it. I understand that the government can come after you, the police can arrest you. Hey, you can always call Ezra. What number can we call, Ezra?
917-755-1187.
It's not a joke. 718-917. 917. Ezra.
You know what's amazing?
1187.
917-755-1187. Here is a guy, and it's not only him. There's a few good ones out there. You've got to call a lawyer. Don't be scared. Ezra will give you a consultation on the phone for free. He'll tell you yes or no or what we could do, and then you're going to hire him, just like he did with me. He says, Heshy, if you want me, I'm coming. If not, this is what we should do. He came up with a plan. And of course, you can give advice. Ezra is the boy. I love him. And every single show he's going to be here, I'm going to have a couple of minutes that we're going to ask Ezra any legal question, and I'm going to come up with more stuff for him. I'm still upset that this man had to sit in jail for 10 years. Ezra.
Me too.
Okay.
Do you know
And
that
what-
it was? Excuse me.
Ezra, would have you let him? Would have you made him accept the plea?
Based on what you told me, if that's all that they had, no. If there's more, then maybe.
Did you know it was illegal on Sundays to get a haircut?
I'm still not convinced of that.
Okay, so I looked it up because I told Heshy this before the show, and he kept telling me, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. So I looked it up. It was in the New York Post, and it was in several other news things one day ago. Haircuts now legal on Sunday in New York as Albany repeals blue law.
Yeah, so blue laws, Sunday blue laws have been around since forever.
It
and
used to be for the liquor, but
it's
the
for
liquor
anything. The
It
idea was
still
not to
exists.
work on Sundays
One
because
minute.
that's the day.
It still
that's their
exists
whole
in
day.
Jersey. In Jersey,
Yeah, it does exist in Jersey. New York basically altered them that you could take one day other than Sunday and close up. So a lot of places that
A
require
lot of
licenses.
laws, they're catching up. Do you know that it used to be about 200 years ago that a woman couldn't basically even walk outside in the street without a man, and she couldn't own property?
we're coming to the end of the show. Thank everybody for listening to the show. Thank you, Ezra, for giving us your good advice. I love you as always. Sawyer, your hair is beautiful. I forgot to tell you in the beginning of the show. Boy, and this week you were on a rant. Were you drinking before the show? Because you didn't stop this week. I'm so proud of you because you never talked like this to me before. Only before the show you scream at me. Yeah. She goes, now.
Yeah,
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Ezra, say good night.
Good night.